several cats for Dot Wescombe. Dorothy
We did
Wescombe.
all of hers, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we went down there the year before.
She's got a barn full.
Yeah. Now, when we cleaned out the barn and I brought insulated boxes down to her so the cats would have some place to sleep and, yeah. I heard that she has a couple of the drop-offs, I have to check on that.
One of them ended up at my mother's house
Oh, good.
a couple of years ago. So, she tries to place her little friends, but
It's hard, and you know what, then she gets attached, cause there was a couple that we were gonna take and she didn't wanna see them go, and that's totally fine, you know what, she feeds them, she loves them, and that's all she has to, you know what I mean, to do, play with, kinda deal.
Did you say a trap costs $2,500?
No, when we go once a month, it costs us $2,500
Oh,
to
the
take
trip.
cats.
Got
A,
it.
a trip.
Yeah.
No, the traps cost $100 a piece, they're double-ended, coated with this special coating because of disease and
was it
whatever.
a half a heart trap.
Yeah, they true traps, we get them out
It's not a conny bear, that's for sure.
of, what?
I said, well, it's not a conny bear, that's for sure.
No.
And then we're doing one trapping a month from April through October, weather dependent.
Yeah.
And so if you add that up, $2,500 a month, those months.
And we actually use, the old Horgan barn in West Enosburg. Jarvis has let us use the old barn. That's where we stage stuff a lot, and if not, we have a garage in Georgia that we use, because when we get these cats, we start on Friday night and we don't take them back till Monday night. So they're cleaned and fed and three
Twice
times
a
a
day.
day. Three
Twice.
times, morning and night.
That's true.
Yeah, so, yeah, so that's us. If you guys have any questions.
No, I think it's laid out pretty clear here.
Okay.
We'll have to discuss it and
Yep, and that's
we
fine.
can get back to you.
Yeah, you know where I am.
Okay. Is your number on here, Jane? I think I have it.
It's on the other flyer.
It's on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Cool,
Thank
guys,
you.
thank you
Okay.
so
Thank
much.
you for coming.
Thank you for your donation.
Yeah.
Thank you, and you have a good day.
Jamie,
Thanks.
if you're doing any barbecues, we'll, set you up with,
I was gonna email you.
do that too.
Huh?
Yeah, 'cause I need to put a little blurb.
Ooh,
So,
barbecue.
send me an email. When I should right, thanks.
No,
All right.
both mine died last year, and I don't have any pets anymore.
I got
and
a 14-year-old cat. When he's gone, I'm done.
Okay.
I don't know if I can go through it anymore, Gary, so I don't know if I'm gonna have any more either.
Promises it's gonna break well, but.
So it's definitely a good program.
Yeah.
And then ask her to come back. Send us the letter next year. You
Yeah, that's.
Because
what I-
it's not budgeted this time, and we're taking it out. Yeah, I can agree with that.
For the 250. Yeah, I agree with that too. So we're at least contributing something, because they
Yeah.
are coming to our town
Well, it's,
and helping
yeah,
us
I just,
keep ours under control, and then next year,
And they're playing between the culverts.
So what we would need, motion, second.
I'll make a motion to
Best result.
give a donation of $250 to the Cat Crusaders.
She sees them down.
I'll second that.
She goes for a walk at 9 o'clock.
You have that, Tammy?
She always sees them.
Motion's been made for a donation of $250 to Cat Crusaders.
Well, Paul, everything they say is being recorded, just so you know. Did not lose the motion.
Okay, so the motion has been made to make a donation of $250 to Cat Crusaders.
And the
Half
second-
the asking price, half the what they asked for, and to encourage her to come back next year with a letter with the board having a better understanding of what's going on.
And it was seconded?
It was seconded. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. I do not see, I know everybody in the room, so I do not see Andrew Vincent.
Yeah.
No.
That's interesting.
Paul's here though.
Paul is here.
We'll do him.
I assume you are the fire department.
Yeah.
Paul, if you wouldn't mind, could you grab a seat right there, just so the mic is set up and we can hear everything you say clearer?
Yep. All right. Yeah, 4th of July.
Yep.
I think this could be short and sweet. So, the fire department has discussed this. We had one member that wanted to push and have it, but the consensus was that not to do it for this year.
Okay.
I got a call this morning from Lisa Maynard, and she reported on the special concerns folks, and they are in the same thinking, not to have it for this year. One of the big reasons is the construction that's going to be going on is going to make it even if we do just the fireworks, parking people and getting them over there will be a severe safety concern.
Yeah, we have no idea where they're gonna be at in their
Right, right.
construction over there on Main Street.
Yeah, yeah. And Lisa brought up the point too, not sure when they'll get going on it, but they're supposed to be doing construction on the Historical Society here too.
Yes.
So that'll be another hindrance.
I believe they're hoping to start in June.
Oh, is that right?
Which would put them hard
Right in
construction
the middle of it.
Right,
Before.
exactly, Lance, exactly.
Paul, was there any discussion on, I know, back when I was younger, we basically had two celebrations. We had the 4th of July, and then we also had, I think it was Founder's Day in
Yeah,
September.
yeah.
Was there any discussion of pushing fireworks back to then with the hope that construction might be done? The
Historical Society, yeah. We really didn't bring that up.
Okay.
You know, I think that the consensus was with not knowing even the Main Street construction, you know, where they're gonna be with that, even if the Historical Society were done. I think it would be quite a risk to.
I think the Historical Society is planning on being finished by that point.
Right,
The trustees had a meeting with the Historical Society, namely Mr. Foote and Ms. McCall,
yeah,
and their rough time frame sees it done by then, hopefully done by then, but
yeah.
still,
Yeah, and we all know how construction goes too. and-
yeah.
Now, that's under a big assumption that the government has lifted all their bans and.
Right,
this
that's
is
the
a
other piece,
pipe dream
you know,
of our
that's,
governor, so.
that's,
Right.
yeah,
And I mean,
I have to side with the fire department in saying, sticking with our first initial thought, and that's putting it off until 2022.
right,
I agree.
I'm glad that from a safety standpoint, you guys are.
Yes.
On the same page as we are, that.
right, right. Cause that's what we would be dealing with is the people and the traffic and, you know, that, and it's hard enough to do it as it is.
Yeah.
So, yep,
Okay.
okay,
I think we're still in agreement and hold
Yeah.
off this year, 'cause I know as much as that's
Do
gonna.
we need to take a vote on that, Josh?
Do we?
I don't know.
I know we had at one point, I don't know if this.
We've already voted on it, I believe.
I believe we have, would you happen to remember if we voted on that or not, Tammy?
I think the fire department just said they weren't gonna do it.
Okay. That's it. That's-
Well, in that case, I'll make a motion
Okay.
that the select board supports the fire department, Historical Society, and Special Concerns Committee in their advisement that we postpone the 4th of July celebration until next year.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
very good,
Excellent, thank you, Paul.
Yep. yep.
Thanks, Paul.
Still not seeing any of our other visitors.
Is Kathy going to be Zoom though?
Kathy Lavoy will not be joining us today.
Abby's here.
No, is it
Um, The
Melody's
issues.
on Zoom.
Okay,
Why don't you do her?
okay.
Or Abby.
I'm just clarifying one thing and then we can go to her. Kathy Lavoy was going to be here today had we not been able to get the paperwork into her this morning.
Oh,
But with the
okay.
3 signatures, Kathy
She didn't
Weston
need
was
to.
able to, or actually Tammy was able to scan that document to me. I forwarded it to her. The only thing at this point I believe that she needs is submission tomorrow, or before tomorrow, end of
The
business.
grant is done,
Correct. Just needs to be,
just needs to be
I'm
submitted.
hoping all I have to do is sign onto the computer and hit enter. But in typical fashion, it will not be that easy.
I think once you signed it, it's in her hands to submit it, but else, I could be mistaken.
Excellent, I hope that's the case. So you said that Melanie is on
Yep, she is.
Zoomer. Alright. Are we going to be able to hear her?
I hope so.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask her to unmute.
And everybody has the paper that,
Yeah.
does everybody have the original one that had the other 3 towns on it?
No.
Yes.
Melanie, can you hear us?
Yep.
Oh, I can hear her.
Yeah, we can hear you good too.
Excellent.
Good.
Wow.
Could you speak a little bit so we can get the volume adjusted, please?
Sure. So as you see, I've submitted a draft fee schedule. And I guess the most important thing I just want to bring your attention to is that the numbers that I have proposed include the clerk recording fee of $15.
It includes what? I'm sorry.
The clerk's recording fee.
What's it under? The clerk's?
It's,
I don't see
I
it.
believe you said that, I think it's just included, correct?
Yeah, it's just included. So the total price, whether in 90 or 215, that includes the $15. Because what happens is people will write a check for what they see as the zoning fees, and then you have to tell them, I also need an additional $15 because it's required by the state.
So the single family would be in line with Fletcher at 200 plus the clerk fee?
Yes.
Okay, makes sense.
So I find these a little steep.
Okay.
I think it looks good.
For what we're moving from. I mean, we were 75 and now we're going to 215 plus 15 cents, which is more than what we were paying. You know, we're only 12 cents a square foot before.
But this is in line with what other towns are charging.
We haven't updated
Well,
for years.
Some,
And we,
I would
Not
say
all.
we have not updated,
that puts us well above
Jeff
Enosburg.
This is Jeff Billigan.
Okay. He's probably gonna have to hold until we can finish with Melanie.
Down in Bakersfield, this is Tammy.
Lance,
Hi
would
Jeff, can you
you
hang on for a
or
second?
when they
While
were
finish
last changed or
Melanie
implemented?
and we'll pick up-
they haven't been changed since I've been on the board,
So can I add to that too, because I know we talked about it,
to my knowledge.
last year, the zoning ended the year $13 ahead, $1,300 ahead. The year before, they were negative 1,500, and so it's kind of
It's
been a
always,
crapshoot there. But also bear in mind, like what Melanie brought up at the last meeting, that she's here 2 days a week, where the previous zoning administrator was not. Here
Right,
2 days a week, so you're doubling
her salary and the benefits that, or the Medicare and Social Security with that, so we're gonna run an even bigger deficit if they stay where they were, so just.
I'm not looking for us to stay where we are. I
No, I
think
just
going
wanted you
from
to have that information,
75
I know I got brought up before.
Traditionally, in the 13 years that I've been on the select board, they have run a deficit, okay?
Significant
Not,
at
not,
some point.
not 100% of the time, but usually,
I think last year we were only in the positive because we were without a zoning administrator for the
yeah,
last couple of months.
for the most part of the,
For a
yeah.
very good chunk of the year, we did not have a zoning administrator present, so that's really the only reason that we had a little bit of a quote-unquote profit that year.
So, hearing what everybody's saying, Terry, you're saying we've gone up too much,
That's what I feel like.
okay?
Like, I see there's a need for an increase, but
Yep,
that's a pretty big increase
so not
compared
everybody,
to where we were.
do you have this one?
Yeah,
Okay, I just making sure, do you have that one, Lance, that shows Fletcher and Fairfield?
I had reviewed it last meeting, which
Okay.
was
Okay,
3 weeks ago, and
no, I was just looking at them side by side, just so I could see
Yep.
like, where we're falling within what towns we're close to here.
Yeah, Terry, what's your fear of raising the rates? Is it that we will not have people wanting to move here? Or just,
no, I just think,
how do they know what it was and now this is what it is? They come here, these are the fees, right?
well, for some people, yeah, but I mean, for like me, if my child was to, I would know what the difference was.
Yep. I'm just curious.
I mean, I don't have a problem with this increasing, I just think going from 75 to 215 plus changing the square footage price. I mean, Enosburg is only 150, straight 150, no extra for square footage.
Josh is doing the math over there. What is the average, Josh?
Well, the average, well, if you take Fairfield into consideration,
Well, Fairfield only gives out a certain amount a year.
right,
That's actually not true.
They changed that?
Yeah, that is no longer a thing.
if you average the 3 towns outside of Bakersfield, you're looking at 285 as an average, so we'd actually be
Under the average.
under the average, but Fairfield throws that off a considerable amount, really, being at 505.
Yeah.
The next closest one at 200.
They have square footage requirements?
They also have a 15 cent per square foot, yes.
We take a 1,750 square foot house, another $200 something, $265. At 15, if you had a 1,750 square foot house times 15
Yeah,
cents,
another $260.
$62
Yeah,
roughly.
260. Which, yeah, so I mean, I don't know what the average house that's being built right now is. Maybe, do you know, Melanie, by any chance?
I mean, they're usually about at least 1,800 square feet, 15 to 18 on the smaller side. You know,
Okay.
3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2.5 bath.
So that makes an additional 250 to 275 to the permitting fee,
Yeah,
you know, on the 15 cents. Which makes a single family dwelling just shy of $500 in permits. For the
Small single family.
It's a one-time fee.
Right, yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing, I'm
I'm
just giving you the
I'm
numbers,
just
yeah.
throwing things out,
Yep.
Josh.
Yep.
It would be nice to see the zoning board have a positive balance at the end of the year for a change, rather than having it come out of the general funds to cover it, which is what's been happening.
We can try it, and if people complain enough, we can change it. I mean, we can at least try it.
Well, and the pool one,
The pool?
am I reading that right? 10?
Ponds and in-ground pools would be $85. Above ground pools over the diameter of 10 feet, which means the inflatable pools you know, that don't
Like
require.
any kiddie pool
Um,
would require one.
Are those over 10 feet?
Some of them are, some, the one I bought, you know, it
Now-
has a sidewall like this, that's,
Melanie,
it was
but
12.
That's
Does
just
the-
a blow-up kiddie pool, right?
Does the above ground
It's an
pools,
above
does that include,
Jesus, I can't
seasonal
believe
put
they
up,
take
take
that-
downs?
Take it down every year.
No, the ones that are like put up and they're there, they're just not
So-
installed into the ground.
Right, so a permanent above ground pool over 10 feet is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Okay, so not the inflatable blue plastic ones that everybody's got.
In
that-
text.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, though, no, not those.
Okay. Yes, because I don't think you can charge, I don't think you'd be able to charge a permanent fee for something that's
Temporary.
taken down, yeah.
How much
Well-
is ground cost here? 80?
25. Oh, in ground?
85 for
In
in-ground.
ground is 85.
Oh, mine's half in and half out, how do you do for that one?
Double the price on that.
It is, one, they're called on ground and half in and half
Yeah.
out.
So it'd be 85 plus 25.
Well, there you go.
Get all you can.
I don't think it hurts to go with these and see if there's pushback. If there's a lot of pushback, then we can always revisit, adjust. Or we could just show them what Fairfield's paying and be like, we can move it to that if you want.
The other thing was the signs.
The sandwich signs?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't tell people about those, I guess, because those are all over the place.
I mean, that would be anything from a lawn sale sign,
No, a sandwich sign is the one like this.
Yeah, but
Right.
there's some
but if you have, like the one they put
nonprofit
on the
organizations
Oh.
that are putting signs up. You charge a nonprofit organization for putting a sandwich sign up.
That's what it says here.
I agree, that's what it says here. I'm asking, what do you think about it?
So what about,
I think,
See, in Enosburg, we didn't, it's on your own property.
I think if
You
it's a
don't need it.
business sign, it needs probably a permit, but other than that,
I agree with Terry. Let's, on that one, Melanie, let's exclude nonprofits.
Okay,
no, exclude period.
Exclude period, businesses?
before we completely
No.
remove it, I will re-review the, sign. Because if it's in the bylaws, we can't just ignore it. You can adjust the fee
Uh-huh.
as select board. But if it's in the bylaws, we can't say that you don't have to do a permit. You can adjust the fee. So if you wanna say the fee is 0, that's in your prerogative.
See, what we do in
That-
Well,
Enosburg,
like Mark down here,
Yeah,
advertising his barbecue, he would need to pay for a permit.
every time. Let's exclude that one.
you can't, well,
You
she's
can't.
saying
I understand, if we can.
Change the fees.
She's gonna review the bylaws and see if we
So,
can, and
Melanie, I
if
have a
not, I think we should review that one.
And what is a seasonal sign?
I think that would be
Oh,
like
Christmas
Western
trees.
stand down there, Christmas tree
Christmas
signs.
trees.
Yeah, so I read that as a season, a permit stays technically like with the property or with the business. And so you pay one time for a seasonal sign, that seasonal sign disappears every single, let's say, winter, if it's, a summer or farm. And then it comes back around next year. They do not have to reapply every year.
for Enosburg, for our sandwich signs, as long as they're out of the right of way, the village right of way, they can put their sandwich signs on their property. But if they're in our right of way, they pay a sandwich permit in Enosburg.
Whether they're profit or not profit.
No, probably, if they're gonna be in our right of way of the village, they pay get a permit. If they're out of our right of way, we don't charge them anything, or a permit. Like the church over there at Maple Park, as long as their sandwich sign is behind our sidewalk,
Yep,
it's fine. But when they start putting it out on next to the road, then we have to get on them about a permit or.
Well, I'm okay with the permanent sign and the business sign, but the seasonal and the sandwich board,
The problem I see with the seasonal is you've got, especially now with all the Christmas tree farms in town,
They're slapped everywhere.
I was gonna say, there's 3 signs between here and, you know, St. Albans. And they're no different than a political sign. I guess that means every time. you
Or a
know,
lawn sale.
I guess that means every time that,
Well,
you know,
that's-
voting season
Okay.
comes around, we would have to.
We tear
charge
down
the-
lawn sale signs in the village. If they're in our right away, we take them
Oh,
and throw
for the
them away.
voting,
That would be a seasonal sign, wouldn't it?
that's right.
Can I
No,
update
it's a
about the
single-
signs?
Lawn sales is a single event.
Political.
Political
So-
sign?
Go ahead, Melanie.
I've never put up a political sign, so.
Okay, so signs that need a permit prior to putting them up are everything except anything the town, state, or public roads put up, non-advertising signs placed for safety purposes, so if there's caution, right, we see all the things around, bump ahead, and then temporary auction, lawn sale, candidate endorsement, real estate, or garage sale signs, because they are promptly removed after that time frame has passed. Everything else needs a permit.
Okay.
Now, within the bylaws, there is no designation between types of signs. So if you want to have a different price or no price for certain things, you may do that. But unless it falls within the things that I just listed, signs require a permit,
Okay.
which does include sandwich boards. According to the bylaws. If you want the bylaws to be changed, that would be a conversation for the planning commission.
Right.
I guess that would probably be our next step then, because I mean,
What about a sandwich board advertising a lawn sale? It's temporary.
that's taken down, that doesn't count.
Okay.
Cause I think is Mr. Foot on the planning commission?
No, oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we told him he had to pay $50 per sign that he puts out advertising his tree farm, he's probably gonna think twice about charging for signs. Just throwing that out there. So I think that's one that we should probably have the planning commission come in and discuss, or at least the rep from there come in and discuss it with us. And I think that would be just the seasonal signs and the sandwich boards. I think permanent signs stays.
Right,
Um,
in the business.
yep,
And just to reiterate, that is a fee that would be charged once.
right. Once a year,
Okay.
correct?
No, not once a year,
Just
one
once.
time. That
Oh.
permit stays with that business or with that parcel, as long as it maintains, sometimes it can go if it changes owners. But a permit runs for whatever was applied for,
Okay.
so it wouldn't be every year, just to,
One flat fee.
Okay, that's, thank you, that clarifies quite a bit.
That, yeah, it does.
Any other questions on this?
So you want to invite the planning commission?
At least a representative from it to discuss whether
Well,
we wanna keep.
The fact that it's a one-time
One-time
fee,
thing.
a one-time lifetime fee makes a huge difference.
They still may wanna remove it entirely
Or reduce it.
or reduce it. We have the right to reduce it, correct, Melanie?
yes, the
Okay.
select board sets the how much something costs for a permit. That is nothing to do with the planning commission. The planning commission sets what is permitted and what is allowed to be exempt.
So another clarifying question, a seasonal sign for example, a tree farm that puts out 10 to 15 signs, would this be a permit for the lot or a permit for each sign?
You're talking about, oh, those little like, the little ones,
The little-
those
the
are,
little-
I categorize those
Good question.
I would
as
consider
like
those
the
a seasonal.
temporary signs.
Okay,
A sandwich board is the, again, like that's the more substantial, they're larger, they're
yeah,
usually made out of wood or plastic.
okay.
Those
See,
little tiny like plastic things that you, with the metal, like they're basically a candidate sign, but they're,
Yep,
yeah, those, I see that as ZA, I do not see that as something I would permit because it's a flimsy sign.
okay.
Is there a size limit on that, Melanie?
Yeah, that's
Not
why we
with-
got rid of the,
I think the
Cider
state
mill.
has the size thing.
One sign, it's in our like, so for a business, the maximum square foot for one sign is 30, so it's pretty big.
That's a billboard.
Yeah, so again, those, they would have to get pretty big for it to be, and again, that's a very,
Do we really
it
need
is
to
definitely
charge
more
for
temporary for
demolition?
those signs that you're talking about.
It's the permit to demolition.
Okay.
What, I mean,
And
I
that's
see
why
the other
the-
tons don't,
That's why
except
it's good
for,
to go to the
us.
listers, so if you're tearing down your garage that you're being taxed on, Melanie gives the listers a copy of the zoning application, so they know to reassess your property to take whatever the value of that garage was off. So that there is kind of a chain of events that happens with the demolition as far as.
well, I
taxes
just see
go.
we're the only town that charges it.
It's probably why we got buildings falling in instead of being torn down.
Probably.
You gotta say $35 is $35.
That
I mean.
and the after construction permit. What is that for?
That's for when people build without a permit,
Oh,
also known as an after the fact permit of you started building, it's found out, I contact you, say you need to submit a building permit application,
Like
you
most
get a
of
slap on the
it's
wrist
just
by
like that.
being charged more.
so it's like a penalty more,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That makes sense.
I guess I just never looked at this stuff.
Honestly, Tara, I'd never looked at all of them either.
I guess once you're established, you're just established, you know?
So are the last three, the minor subdivision, sketch plans, final minor subdivision, and are those compounded? So like if you're doing a subdivision, you pay the 90 and then the 145?
So all subdivisions, have to go through a two-part process. The only one that is exempt from that would be a simple boundary line adjustment. You're able to go to the final minor subdivision, which is why it includes a boundary line adjustment.
Okay.
So for a boundary line adjustment, you pay 145. For all other minor subdivisions, you pay 90 for the first process, 145 for the second process. And that again is in the bylaws, that's what the planning commission wants to see, is the two-part process. Because then there's two publicly warned hearings on each of those applications.
Okay.
The greenhouse, is that like if it's a permanent, you know, like there's some people that are putting up the,
I think it's more for like a commercial greenhouse.
okay, that's what I thought.
That's an assumption, correct me if I'm wrong, Melanie.
If somebody has a greenhouse, there is no size restrictions.
Okay.
But if you had one of those smaller ones, it probably could also be categorized as a shed because it's often used that way the rest of the year for some of those smaller ones. Again, it would depend on what it kind of looked like and the size of it.
Yeah, 'cause you could probably almost argue that a large greenhouse could be considered agricultural.
Yeah, probably is.
So I think we give it a try.
I think so, and then if we get any pushback, we can go back and revisit it.
I agree.
You can always go down better than go up.
Absolutely. Input, Brendan?
It's one of the things where we haven't changed it in umpteen years. It hasn't made any difference to anybody now. I don't think they're gonna see any difference later.
I don't think anybody knows what the current ones are.
That's probably true.
Well, that's it, it's lack of knowledge. I mean, if we as a select board didn't have a firm idea of what was going on, I don't think anybody else is either. Not that that's a good reason,
Right?
but it is not gonna get noticed. This is a blip. Nobody will notice it. And it's
Entertain a motion.
Well, and the bottom line too is if this branch of our government comes out positively with regard to funding, we're ahead of the game and we don't need to run deficit spending.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I make a motion to accept the fees as
draft.
I'd
Draft,
sec-
or a
I'd
draft
second-
by Melanie.
I'd second
as is.
that.
I
Motion
was-
second. Yep. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Here,
Yeah, both.
okay, vote 4-1.
Alright, Melanie, that passed, we'll go with those.
So, we just passed this with questions that are not answered yet.
With the board, with the sign, it was a one-time fee
That changed our mind.
that changed our mind from having to, that, in my opinion, sorry.
I agree with Josh.
That it was,
If it was every year, I would have opposed that, but seeing as how it's a lifetime, one-time fee, I don't have a problem with it. You pay $50 and you can put your signs up for your Christmas trees
And this
forever.
is only if, well, like Mark down there with the barbecue.
Yeah, it's a one,
Yeah.
one time fee.
One-time
He's got to
fee.
come and fill out a permit.
he does
Yeah.
it one time, and there would be no, back fees on that, right? Melanie?
I'm not going through the records to see, it's about new signs.
Okay.
That, yeah, like I know, Doze had to put one up for the one that they just put up, right? And so like if they were to put up another one, they would have to do it as well. But
When are
anybody, most of the signs around, they have been around. It's if we see an additional sign or somebody comes in and say, I want to do a sign, then you pay the permit fee.
Okay.
What's the effective date of the new fees? You voted to pass it, but when is this taking effect?
I would say immediately.
Tonight.
We discussed it at the last meeting, and,
We do have a question in chat,
okay.
and I think you answered it, but I'll go over it again. Has the planning commission given their input to these changes of fees? This is from Linda. Did we talk about?
So the planning commission would, actually not be impacted, not be impacted, but the select board would set the fees, the planning commission would determine what, requires the permit and the fee would go towards. Does that make sense? Just making sure. So, after the clarification of the signs, does that make sense to you, Jerry? That it's-
I disagree with the signs, but I disagreed with all of them, so
Okay,
I voted no.
okay.
As is
Yeah,
your
I was gonna say, that's right, okay,
That's why we vote.
that's right. Melanie, do you have any other business
Did you
for
answer-
us?
Did you answer Linda's question?
Yes.
What
He did, but I don't know did she come back with anything?
What did you say, John?
Exactly.
Well, I'm trying to keep up.
Where are you two?
I'm making sure you're in there.
The response to that would be that the planning commission would determine what requires a permit. The
Okay.
fees would be set by the select board.
Good.
I just sent her a message back.
Okay, perfect.
No, that doesn't satisfy my question.
No,
What
they have
part-
not been, talked to.
Okay.
As they do not set the,
As they do, yeah.
They do not set-
they do not set the fees, so.
Yeah, state statute says that the planning commission gets to come up with the bylaws. And obviously it has to adhere to the town plan, which is approved by the select board. So they have to align with that, so it still comes from the select board, and the select board also approves the bylaws that are proposed by the planning commission. And then in state statute, to keep it separate, the planning commission has nothing to do with the fees.
Thank you for that much better clarification,
There
Melanie.
you go. I just asked her if she wanted to speak on the topic.
Yeah, it's either gonna be at the next meeting or the meeting after. I finally received an application for the zoning board of adjustment So once I warn the issue, I'll make sure it gets to the agenda for you all.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yep, thank you. That's all I have.
Excellent.
Right.
Thank you
Well,
for your
thank you
work.
for your
Thank
work.
you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
And is Linda good?
She hasn't responded to the asking her if she wants to speak. I'm not gonna talk to her all.
Okay.
Is Jeff still on hold?
Jeff, are you still there? Okay, hang on. Where's the speaker?
He might not be on
As
the
long as you don't hit the
Sometimes
red.
down at the bottom.
Not all the phones have speakers.
General
I'll
statement
catch ya.
accounts.
So, guys,
I got P.E.G.
right,
He's on speaker.
Excellent. Hi Jeff, how are you tonight? We did. We have read it. I was the one who personally went and spoke with your neighbor last year when this complaint was brought up.
Is this Josh?
Yes, it is.
Okay, out back, we got plot plans of the property. Did you know I believe he's got trees out there?
Okay. I wasn't aware, but it didn't affect my view, so I didn't really get too wound up about it.
Well, the thing is, he got a burn pile out there.
Yep, yep.
And that's where he put the wood.
Okay.
And I have COPD, I had to shut the windows several times last summer because he burned stuff out there. And then, of course, he drinks when he does this, he drunk most of the time. You know, and
So let me just pause you because I feel like we're reiterating the letter that you sent us.
yeah,
So at this time, Jeff, the problem is this is not a town issue. I know that's not what you want to hear. We discussed it at the last meeting. This is an issue with your neighbor, and you're in an apartment building, so this is an issue with your landlord. If you do not get a satisfactory answer from your landlord, then I think it would be up to you to make this an issue with the Franklin County Sheriff's Department or the Vermont State Police.
well, see, I talked to the state police, in fact, they called me because I called the governor's office.
Excellent, there you go, you took it to the next step, that's way further than we can do.
So let me finish. This guy is on pot here. Okay, and he's growing here.
It's technically legal in the state of Vermont to grow marijuana. I'm not gonna go check people's property for legal plants.
That's fine, good, but he's selling. And that is against the law. Because I have COPD, he's right in front of my, apartment out here, and he's real close to it. And I explained about the kids out here driving forward under the age of 16, and he go back. Fire him will come and remove the gas grill up front.
Yep,
Okay, he's got a big tank off, if you leave it there, then just stick the tank in when nobody's around. Or, you know, you get a go-kart out there that's, you know, it's up on a tow, and I believe he plans on starting it up out there, and the carbon monoxide's not good for you. He had to go back, it's high, there's no reason for it to be on his porch.
okay. Jim, again, or Jeff, sorry, these are issues for your landlord and the state police. These are not town issues. I know that's not the answer you want, but,
Well, the state trooper said something about, mentioned you about police patrol here.
yeah.
Like maybe sheriff coming in like 20 hours a week.
Yep, we tried that, it was voted down by the taxpayers. Were you at the?
No.
No, you weren't there, so you didn't get to vote. I don't know how else to explain this, other than at this point, it's an issue with your landlord and the state police or the Franklin County Sheriff's Department. We wish we could help, but we really can't.
Well, have you guys ever thought of putting up cameras?
Nope.
no,
We have, I think the police, the fire department has cameras to make sure that they're not broken into or vandalized or anything, but the town of Bakersfield is not interested in, watching their residents on camera.
I see a lot of speeding going through here, you know, I see a lot of things on the pole, there's
Yep. that, if you'd, just give the sheriff's department a call, there's state police, hopefully.
It would be the state police. 'Cause
Sure.
they're comfortable up here.
Yep, that's true. I don't know what else to say to you. You know, like I said, I spoke with your neighbor, he was very nice to me, he was very cordial,
You go to school with him?
no, I did not.
You know, I don't know Josh, but he went to school in 2 years, as my daughter. This guy went to school drunk, you know, a drug addict, missed a lot of school, you know, and people that went by here, all one thing is me. You know, I'm in a horn, you know, with, squealer tires out there, but he's, having them do it, just pissed me off.
Well, again,
You would have state police.
I'm gonna tell you to go to the state police, you're correct. Yep, there's really nothing else we can do as a town. We addressed it last year, he was very cordial to me.
What's the landlord doing with that?
And, yeah, I think the biggest concern you have right now is your landlord.
What about the bird pile out there?
Right now, there's a burn ban, so if he fires it up, then you go ahead and call the fire department, and they'll come over and put a tank of water on it. As long as it doesn't erode my bank, I'm okay with that.
I understand in order to burn anything up there, you have to have a burning permit.
Well, I think that's
Yes.
restricted.
They do have to have a burning permit.
The burn permit, I'm not sure if campfires require that, do they, Paul?
But it's not a campfire.
Right.
Well,
That's pretty good size, thing that you got up there where it burns.
okay, well, I don't know, I guess I just drive straight down my driveway.
What
If
are
you're
they,
my property,
who is it,
down here, if you go in there, I know it.
Robert, right?
Regardless, you know, whether it's in your view or not.
Yeah,
You can call Robert Willie.
You know, it's against the law unless you got permission from it.
okay, well, that's between me and him, I spoke to him about that also, but that's between me and him, you know, me being the landowner, him being the guy with the pot. But, as I said, your issues right now are with the state police and your landlord.
You know, what about a health officer, do you have one of them, you know?
We do.
Ginger
Because
parent.
I think the deal with the COVID there and him being, right off from where I sleep, because I sleep in the living room, I got a messed up back. You know, I said things to him there about not being looked into my apartment, you know, people sitting outside my apartment. And because I have COPD and emphysema, you know, I haven't had a COVID shot yet. And I think this would be something with the health officer. Also with the, you know, the gas grill, like I said, removed, but he got that go-kart out there. You
Okay.
know, and he's doing it, so, because you guys don't have no ordinance, you know, you guys made it legal for people like him, to do what he does. You know, Tom, your uncle,
I don't know what that has to do with anything right now, but, I can give you, the health officer's name is Ginger Parent.
it's what, Ginger?
Yep. And, do you have access to the internet?
No,
Okay, I don't have her phone number right offhand. Hang
what's your
on.
last name?
Goss, that's also on the internet under, select board chairman.
Yeah, but you can say Goss,
Goss, Goss, as in Sam.
G-O-S-S.
I think Ginger, I think we're on Ginger.
Are you asking for Ginger's last name?
Yeah,
Oh,
Parent.
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 Yeah.
Okay, Ginger Parent.
And
Hang on just a second here, I can look and see if I can find her.
and give it also the warrant, the fire warrant.
Robert Willie's the,
Yep,
fire
I'll
ward.
look at that one too as soon as I can get it
and
here.
you can deal with the bonfire.
Give me just a second here, Jeff, I'm pulling up.
What was it?
General
Miles, right?
information.
What was Ginger's,
Alright, so.
her name before?
Miles.
Miles, thank you.
Why am I not seeing it on here?
I don't see Ginger on the rate.
She should be under, yeah, it's still
I don't
under
see
Ginger
Robert on
Miles.
here either.
His phone number might be up here, hold on.
Okay, so I'm gonna get you two phone numbers here, Jeff, if I can.
Roberts is 393.
Okay, hang on just a second, man. So Robert Willie is the guy you would wanna contact for the burn permits.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
You said Willie?
Willie, yep. and his number is
You can usually give this one out.
393. Oh, sorry,
No,
hang
he
on.
doesn't, we usually give this number out for that,
Okay.
not his other one.
So his home phone number is 827
Yeah,
6141.
yeah.
And what I will do is I will locate,
6164. You gave that wrong.
what was the number I gave you?
You said 6141. It's 827-6164 for Robert.
827-6114, she said?
6164.
6164, okay.
Okay. Abby. What's this stuff?
This isn't the house number. Oh, Mac has it, hold on.
And I actually do have a cell phone here for Ginger. Are you ready?
Yeah.
802
Yeah.
752
Yeah.
6949. And that's her cell phone, so she might not be able, it's not a landline, so I'm not 100% sure she'll be able to answer that right off, but you leave her a message and she does a great job, she'll get right back to you.
You know, like I said, with COVID, I think it's an issue with it being out there. You know, like, privacy, there is no privacy.
Again, that's, I think that's,
You know, the people,
well, your landlord first, if it's a privacy issue, but.
yeah. Let me ask you, Josh, is Tom the uncle?
Yep, he is.
Okay, well, I met his mother, I went to school with Tom, and I just wondered if, she was here, this was happening, is this what you would do with, respond to state police?
You would have to.
If I've talked to the person and nothing has been done, yes, I would have to have her call the state police.
Yeah, I've talked to him several times, and nothing has been done, just like talking to a wall.
Well,
No kidding.
I'd like to say I can help you with that, but, like I said before, I went over and talked to him, he was nice enough to me, and, I don't really know what else to say. Sorry we couldn't help you out any more than that, but at this point, it's above where we are.
I just want you to aware that he drinks and drives any vehicle, so there's an accident on the road.
That'll be a state police issue also.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, bye,
Thank you, bye. Somebody take this.
I thought Bob was your uncle.
Bob is my uncle.
What was Ginger's number?
752.
Am I to put those numbers in the minutes?
Probably not.
I was gonna say not without, Roberts, I think you
You
could,
can do Roberts.
because Roberts is posted here. 752-6949.
Thank you.
Not the
That's, the
cell.
only reason I have that is because I have
Roberts
a
is
son in school.
827.
That's fine. As health officer, I just wanted her number, that's all.
Alright, okay.
I don't have it in my phone.
Andrew's not here.
So that's the end of our visitors.
No, we still have Abby.
That is not the end of your visitors. Nice try, though.
Tim Doyle?
Yep.
I did not just sit through that.
Okay.
I didn't put
Kicked out the door,
I didn't
Gary.
really see you as
Oh, yeah,
being
hey,
that.
hey.
Can I
Say
hold on just a minute, I'm trying to.
It's all on the record, just so you know. Tim Doyle is on deck and would like to speak with us at some point in time.
Okay,
Tim Joyce on
if
video.
he's willing to wait,
He's
we have Abby giving us some update, and I know she's on the
Catherine
I'm on
Keller.
the agenda,
She's on the agenda,
for the
so
record.
we'll take her first and then Tim, if that works for him. Thank you. Fire away.
Okay. The TAM loan, I sent you guys an email on, the amount has changed.
Correct.
I thought that the 250 was a little steep from the cash flow thing that I submitted, so we are actually only approved for 199,000, which is 1,000 less than we were approved for last year, so it's not that big of a deal. 2.25%, so it's a better rate than last year. We were 2.88, I think, last year. So I'm gonna pass this around. This needs to be signed by everyone. Audrey was gonna be here tonight, but she wasn't able to make it last minute. Have you guys looked at the financial reports yet?
I just.
Didn't see him, no.
Okay, so can I steal those? I'm gonna pass this around. There's 3, I think it was 3 spots you guys need to sign, so please go through every page. If
Okay.
you have questions, let me know, I'll answer the best that I
Is it
can.
tagged and highlighted so I don't miss one?
No,
Okay.
it's your test for today, Josh.
Had both of us.
Okay, so QuickBooks reports are way different than what you are used to seeing. So I kind of want to take 5 minutes. Audrey was going to be here to do this, like she's not here, but look at them, get feedback, what works, what doesn't work, because the reports do look different than what you're used to from P.E.G. So the first one that I included, right over there, Paul. The first one is a profit and loss. This one is not so much pertinent to the fact that we're not an actual quote-unquote business, but I also thought it was important to see, because this breaks it out a little bit easier. This is exactly for the first quarter what the town brought in for money, and then this is exactly what the expenses were, and it shows that for the first quarter the town technically is running a deficit, the way that our money flows. That's just important to know for budget purposes. And I'm following that up because with the TAN loan, it was a lot of hoops to jump through with the cash flow statement that we have to do for them to get to where we're at with this. So the way that our cash flows, and I am bringing that up as, hey guys, you should start thinking about your budget for next year now. You should start thinking about your process. You should start exploring further changing our fiscal year or adding more and voting in 18 months or do something, because the hoops that I had to go through to get that TAM loan to pass this year makes me nervous about it not being an option every year, the way that our finances run. I haven't gotten that exactly from the bank, but I know it was a lot of work to get us this. So put that high up on your agenda of something that needs to start happening. You guys really should start your budgets now. Looking at the last couple of years worth of stuff and what your decision is going to be with, shut up Gary, and what your decision is going to be as far as getting the town's finances more on track, so we're not.
Isn't our goal 2024? Oh, no.
It was what we discussed, yes.
If you make it, realistically, and I know it's not what anybody wants to hear, but that's 3 years down the road, and the TAN's not necessarily a guarantee the way that our cash flow rolls. So we need, you need to start as a board looking at all avenues, exploring it, and starting to see what needs to happen. I mean, you already took the first step because, you know, the general fund budget did come up this year, which it needed to. Just discount for the fire department increase every year, ambulance contract increase every year, but
I'll be honest with you, with our informational meetings, I think it made it clearer to the town that we're not, you know, I think a lot of other people finally got the fact that the money we're spending now, we don't physically receive until October.
I agree with you. I don't think a lot of people in town realize that, you know, for the first 10 months of the year, we're spending money we don't have.
and the way, the other option around this, the thing that makes it really hard for us to get money with a TAN loan is because we do everything individually on the warning for town meeting. Most towns, 90% of the towns, lump everything together. So instead of breaking out the general fund, the road, each equipment account, each, you know, all of the organizations that ask for money, we would put forth that the town of Bakersfield to function needs $1 million, which is going to be a shell shock to people, and you would really have to put it out there. It's not saying that you can't show what that $1 million is comprised of, because you should, but rather than voting on 24 separate line items, dollar amounts, you should lump it together, because then that gives us the opportunity to ask for more money if we need to for the TAN loan to cover everything through the year. Because again, budget year starts January 1, you're not voting on the budget till town meeting, and then we don't physically get the money for 10 months, and last year it was almost 12 months for some of it.
Right.
So we're operating.
Killing us is at school,
That's a whole other can of worms.
but that's why we can't get this to pass.
Right, and it is hard, because if you look, I look at my tax bill, of my $3,000 tax bill, only $800 went to the town.
Exactly.
It's minimal, and I mean, I'd rather pay more there to see the stuff stay in the town. I mean, but yes, the school's a whole separate can of worms, but I'm just saying,
But I
as
think
a
as
board.
a town, we need to start deciding what we wanna do about the school. Because what got promised to us definitely isn't happening, and it does reflect the budget here.
It does impact it because
Absolutely.
nobody
Big
wants to
time.
pay more here because we're paying so much. I'm
Exactly.
not disagreeing with that at all. I'm just, before you're rid of me entirely, I get to know you a little bit longer, Josh. I will throw something.
Only one more month, right, Josh?
I'm actually looking at what you're talking about. I'm trying to figure out. Huh? So careful what you throw at me.
Because
I can
what we
catch.
do too, at Enosburg, we do have a breakdown in our annual thing, but we ask like, general fund is X amount, sewer plant X
Yeah,
amount.
I think even Sheldon might be the same way. They ask for like the lump funds, but everything is listed out.
It's budgeted, right?
Yes, correct. So you can
This
see
is-
what the budget numbers are.
Because I think they just switched over to a fiscal year, if not this year, last year.
Sheldon?
Yeah.
No.
2 years ago.
Highgate recently switched, Fairfax, and I believe Montgomery.
Okay,
Highgate is one of the most recent ones in Franklin County that I know of.
okay.
So you're saying that on the ballot, it's lump sum, everything all in one figure, and the town report. If you wanna see it broken down, you go to the town report.
Right.
Correct.
Correct.
Same way as the
Okay.
school.
So yeah, exactly, the same way that the school does it. You would still put
I'm
the
just,
information.
I'm just
see-
clarifying.
Yep, you would still put all the information, everybody's still gonna see the numbers that makes that up, but rather than having that like 11 by 7 double page ballot that we have
Yeah.
voting for everything, you could condense it down to one page. The town of Bakersfield to operate all of those accounts is $1 million. I'm just throwing that out there, I don't really know what it adds up to, it's probably not too far off, but that's just my final parting wisdom for you. One of the other reports that we have in there, which this is the one I wanna know, for Audrey, so we could get it caught up if need be. Budget versus actual, this is basically out of QuickBooks, but it's the spreadsheet that I made for you guys last year.
Yeah.
So there's two ways that this can be printed. We can condense it, where this is just January 1 through the whole year. So this is everything that we have spent to date, or we can break it out each individual month. Obviously, by the end of the year, I'd probably have her quarter it and then do the last month, so otherwise you'd have 20 pages.
We did quarterlies, like in Enosburg, they did quarterlies.
Yeah.
And it gives,
And then
like,
this also gives you the amount that you're over or under the budget, and I know the percentage was something we added on, so the percentage. This isn't 100% true and accurate yet because we ran out of time to get this fully done. This only has what we've spent so far, so not all of the budget categories are in here yet.
So that is this with what we said we were gonna spend and what we've actually spent year to date.
Correct,
Okay, perfect.
correct. It's not 100%
I think that's the
set yet, but it will
most
be,
important one,
it's just taken us a little bit longer to get caught up on a few things, so we haven't 100%.
And we have the same thing for the road.
Same thing, yep, same exact stuff for the road. Again,
I would say.
your P&L, which is your basically your income statement, which is more of a, okay, we don't have as much money coming in, but then you can also look to the budget to see, you know, exactly what we've spent, and some of it's just timing, like the state aid just came in, or is coming in Thursday, right, the 15th?
I personally feel like that page right there is the most important thing that we can have.
That's,
As long as it's up to date and accurate, that shows us, you know, if something happened and Max 20% over where he thinks he should be
Right,
on
right.
sand and gravel, then we know we need to do something there.
see, like, I mean, we're a little bit more with Enosburg, we have wastewater, and each department got
Yeah.
a monthly,
Yep.
where you're at, like, that month, we're at a deficit of $10,000.
yeah, you have, obviously, yeah, because there's bigger departments, you have
Right.
the water department, the light department, everything there,
Right.
we're not quite that expanded, but it's the same type of thing.
And you know what
Because
you are every month if you're in a deficit or you're in.
Yeah, and this will be easy to, this was one of my big purposes of pushing you guys to switch to QuickBooks, because this saves the spreadsheet, which you're open for human error when you're doing this. This is the exact numbers as the checks were coming in and as the checks are coming out.
What's that called, Abby?
It's just a balance, or budget versus actual,
Okay. that's
report
the-
profit and loss, budget versus actual.
Yeah, I think that's our
Okay,
most important thing to
because
have.
I honestly, there was a bunch of reports that we used to give you last year that I ditched because it's somewhat meaningless because it was giving the same information so many times and that's wasn't as important as,
That
since
one-
we've gotten more on track with the budgets and doing the budgeting a little bit better, that's gonna be kind of your golden ticket right
Yeah,
there.
and I think that's gonna help us 100 times to budget for the next year, just because we'll be able to see, you know,
And
okay, we put this much in last year, and we're
And it's
running
nice.
through that, and
There's a
Yeah.
couple other budget reports that can be played with in there as well, but this was one of the big things that I wanted to talk to you guys about.
yep, no,
Yeah.
perfect, thank you.
Yeah, on that note, I am still coming in, and probably over the next month, I'm gonna, rather than the 2 days that I've been coming in, I'm gonna try to scale back to just one. We'll play it by ear, but, June is kind of my cutoff date to take a little break, and then taxes start, so. That is all I have, unless you have questions.
How is it going with the training?
Not terrible. It's taking, some things are taking a little bit longer, but it's a learning curve on the software. Learning curve is me too with training. I hate training. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm high speed.
No.
You know, it's just difference in speeds is what we're comfortable with. But there has been progress, we're getting it. I was really hoping she was gonna be able to be here tonight for that, but she had a family emergency. It's not a huge deal. But we're getting there. It's just the biggest thing is just, it might take her just a little bit longer than what, you know, used to. And her and I had a really good chat about that today. I'm trying to figure out what her schedule is gonna be. So I think in time, there are things I'm already able to kind of kick back and just like be here as like a
Yeah.
buffer if she needs it. But
Good,
we're getting there.
good.
You know,
It's a lot to learn. Half of this stuff only happens one time a year, so it's really, it's like you got the normal day-to-day stuff and then, oh yeah, don't forget this, and it's like, what the hell's that, sort of thing. So we're getting there. It's just, like I said, it's a learning curve, new software to get used to, and like I said, I'll be the first to admit immediately that I'm way too type A where I'm just like, oh, it's just easier if I do it, but I gotta learn to sit back. I'm trying.
Thoughts and comments on FEMA?
FEMA, our extension got approved today. We have a conference call tomorrow at 10. Hopefully we get a little bit more of an update. The last I knew, Goat Path, everything was submitted. I think Trowbridge, everything was submitted. Were we waiting for something on Trowbridge, or did that get all cleared up? That got cleared up. There
That's the
was,
first page of it, you can sign it.
there was a question on some culvert for Jordan Road that came up, and I was unable to make the call, but Tyler took care of that. One of the questions I think was for, not even a culvert that was in question, is what my understanding of the email was. There was somebody, Dr. Downer, I believe, had a question over a culvert, and it wasn't even the culvert that we were asking to be replaced.
Yeah, Richard Danner, yeah.
Rich, yeah. So I'm trying to find it, to make sure I'm not lying to you.
This is the first page of that. They got this separate.
But, yeah, I don't know where it is.
We were just doing a squash culvert there, right?
Yeah, but I think he was looking at, a different culvert on Jordan Road, or a different brook. There was something where he was looking at the map and not the spot that was in
Yeah,
question.
there is a cast-in-place concrete bridge there, but it wasn't damaged significantly by the flood, so.
Yeah, so I believe that Tyler, I gave Tyler permission to speak on our behalf, because he could make the call, and I quite frankly didn't know which one they were talking about. So I
Wow, you
believe,
wouldn't think that darn little culvert that we're having trouble with would be such a big deal. It's just a little thing like this. It's just undersized, and the culvert underneath 108 is obviously, or apparently, undersized as well, according to the
Correct.
hydraulic study.
correct, so
Jordan Road, you said?
Yeah, that was
Oh.
held up for a while because, yeah, the state standard was actually a smaller culvert than what Tyler was suggesting in our hydraulic study to be replaced. So that was being held up in mitigation. But a lot of it's being resolved because it's been in mitigation for so long that they're saying, kick it out, reevaluate, redo. So now we were able to get a lot of stuff pushed through faster.
Plus they have a different lady.
Plus, the lady that they have is like really good at what she does in mitigation, so things are moving a lot faster. The next biggest step is Mac and I need to finish the workbook work, which I have a bulk of it, but we need to plan a day once spring cleanup is done to sit down and actually input all the data for, because we have one project which is like 5, 6, 7 roads, 8 roads, how many, we're up to, a lot of our little roads are lumped in there, and that's all gonna be workbook project stuff. So it's just gonna be time basically inputting all the payroll, all of the equipment from when the storm actually happened to now, so it's just gonna be a little legwork, but other than that, the train is still rolling forward with FEMA thankfully, so.
Do you think there's gonna be a lot going on in the meeting tomorrow?
I really don't.
I'm sorry, day after tomorrow.
No, it's tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, it is tomorrow at 10.
You better be allowed this one.
You already missed one, no, just kidding. No, it's tomorrow at 10.
It depends upon what Paul,
You know, this is the least amount of contact I've had with Paul that it almost like concerns me. Cause he was calling me at least 3 times a day. To now I've only gotten like maybe 1 email in 2 weeks.
which could be.
Well,
Which could be a good thing, finally, which I think it is, cause I think we've got
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff answered.
At least Paul is accomplishing stuff.
No, he is, and it's great, but it was weird, cause I'm like, hey, I haven't heard from Paul today.
Either that or Tyler really explained some stuff when you gave permission to talk.
Yeah,
And I think that's probably it too.
Tyler is worth his weight in gold, and that has to go on the record, because
Yeah.
he has
You're welcome.
streamlined so much, and
Yes, thank you, Gary.
Yeah.
he has, FEMA likes working with him and likes his style, and he is very thorough.
Mhm.
A lot of the permitting questions that came up, he was able to clear up instantly, and he covers his bases, so definitely, Tyler is worth his weight in gold, so sign that FEMA warrant so we can pay him.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, he's a little expensive, but
Not compared to other people, no.
he is
He's worth it,
getting
though.
the job done, and that is what is important.
You'll find he's one of the cheaper ones, but,
Yeah.
Really?
yes.
Yeah, 'cause he's the
Wow.
only person on the.
I'm in the wrong business.
He knows his stuff though. I mean, you call him or ask him anything and he can spew it off and I'm like, okay, now can I have that in English so I can understand what the hell you just said?
Yeah.
So many towns on.
He's easy to work with too, so.
He is, he's great, he's really laid back, he's good, so that's all I got. Are there any other questions?
No, 'cause when I did
I
the-
think we're all set.
Oh wait, y'all sign my TAM loan?
Now, in order,
Since the
speaking of
number
budget stuff,
He's the one that recommended.
the fire
That was
department's
me.
going
Oh.
over the contract
Yeah,
as we
thank you.
speak, and they'd like to be on the agenda for May 10th,
Okay,
Yeah.
be your first meeting in
first and
May,
next, yep,
to review the contract,
Yep.
so.
absolutely. Tammy,
Plug that into-
I would like to say make a note of that, but I know you're already doing it, so.
Isn't the ambulance up? Isn't the ambulance contract up this year too?
Was that 3 years?
Yeah, I think that's what this is right
There,
here.
yeah, you've got a letter about that.
Oh, okay, see, I knew they were about the same time or one was right after the other.
They've got more issues than a contract.
Yeah, that's the way it sounds, but,
Any other questions before I run away?
I think we're all set, but I would run fast.
Aren't you gonna miss this? No, because the last time I got halfway home and then I came back on my own. I forgot something.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, actually, speaking of that, that reminds me, because I will get halfway home. I talked to Jason, and I know I've talked to a couple of you about this. Jason Batt is good to accept the appointment as far as staying on as an auditor.
Oh, yeah.
He is swamped at the moment because of tax season, so he won't be able to come in until mid-May to audit my January and February, which I checked with Josh and Lance, they didn't foresee an issue. I mean, it's just sitting there, nothing's
If
gonna
that's what
happen
you
with
can do
it,
it, then I
so.
guess we don't really have any choice. I mean,
No.
it's tax season, so he's,
Right.
I mean, His
Well,
primary
it's
job
not
has to
going
come first,
anywhere.
yeah, exactly.
It's not going anywhere, everything's
Fine.
reconciled, it should, I anticipate a day, maybe day and a half for him to even there was
It would have
minimal
been sooner,
activity.
but somebody bumped up the tax due date to May 17th instead of
Good thing, 'cause I
April
forgot
15th.
to send mine in.
Oops.
I just got it to him yesterday, it's like,
But normally,
It's still there.
I found it stuffed between my car seat and my console. It's like,
Thank you, Abby.
I dropped that off.
see you in the morning, Abby.
10 o'clock.
Brenda,
10 o'clock?
I'm gonna get it here today though.
Later.
so we have Tim Doyle from the ATV club coming in on Zoom, so
Okay.
go ahead.
Tim, we can hear you if you unmute. There you go.
How you doing tonight, folks?
Good, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. So I left the V-Trans approval with Brenda Churchill, and I just want to make sure you guys got it and you're gonna go along with it, approve it, so that we can get on Polaris Ride Command.
Yep, we actually just signed that in at the beginning of the meeting, Tim.
Okay.
That we made 2 changes, in our, I'm drawing a blank.
Abort ordinances?
In our ordinances, we had, April 1st as the opening day for Bakersfield. We changed that to May 1st to better align with your trail openings.
Okay,
And then we removed this section of road here from 108 to the town garage, from the closed sections, so that's now open. And,
Okay.
I did not put anything in there about Witch Cat. I assume if you're submitting to, the Ride Command app, that would be something that you would do, but.
yeah, it won't be on there.
Okay, but as far as like the town, what's in the town ordinances, it's everything east of 108 is open except for Boston Post Road.
Yep.
Okay?
And then, like I said, I'll keep my word and make sure that everything's signed, and which cat will be signed as no ATVs. And, we should be good to go. And as far as the May 1st opening, that starts next year, I assume, because there's already people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's already people out on the roads and stuff here.
Yep.
One of the things we are gonna talk about is we had discussed sticker registration for the town of Bakersfield, and that's later in
Yep.
our agenda to discuss, but that's one of the things that we will probably be, the way I would like to do it, and this is personal opinion, not anything the board has discussed or said, I would just as soon take a sticker book myself and, Saturday morning, head to the trailhead and just be like, hey, look, this is a new town ordinance and, these are the stickers that are required, and get them on as many rigs as we can. And, I think going out there and talking to them instead of just, I don't know, banging the guys that have them.
Breaking them.
So,
Okay, so we can put that in our kiosk also,
okay,
so that everybody knows that they need to get a permit from the town when you guys do finally pass that.
yep,
And, we'll do it that way and work with you, because there are a lot of towns that I've noticed are doing the same thing.
yep.
I talked to Sean about those stickers, and considering he's a short timer, he plans on being out of there by the end of May.
Okay.
He's not interested in doing it. He
Okay.
said, speak to whoever purchases the property,
Okay.
okay?
Were you able to hear that, Tim?
Where's this?
I was not, can you say that again?
Village Deli.
Oh,
The Bakersfield Village Deli was one of the people we had talked to about selling, the stickers. And it doesn't sound like he's gonna be, as willing to sell them for us, so it would be required that they stop into the town clerk, or, like I said, I would be willing to make myself available for, a couple hours first thing in the morning on Saturdays for those, at the beginning of the season.
Josh, I go over.
Yep.
Just to-
Can I ask a question real quick?
Absolutely, I may not be able to answer it, but you can ask.
Okay, so I'm Kathy, the president of our club.
Yep.
Would we be able to get some from you, like a sign out sheet, and us do it at our meetings? Would that be easier also?
I would be more than ecstatic if you were willing to do that. That would be a great idea.
Josh, I don't
Yeah.
know.
This way, it's, because I know you guys aren't at your office a lot of hours, or maybe you're picking up more now. But it's easier if, you know, somebody says, hey, I live in Milton, but I wanna be able to ride in Bakersfield, and I could meet them, or Tim. So we could get a list of whatever, however many, and then do them, and if there's, I don't know if you guys are gonna charge. I know there's a lot of towns that don't charge for them, they just do them. I don't know what you guys are thinking of doing.
I believe in our ordinance, we have a fee.
$10 or $15?
Yeah, I believe it was $10 or $15, but, yeah, we would definitely be willing to work with the club. I think the key to this is just making sure that we get people to, you know, to follow the rules and, you know, abide by them, really. It's just our biggest issue right now.
Kathy, this is Brenda Churchill. Let Josh know that I come out to your meeting and get you all the sign up stuff you need once we get everything printed up. And just tell me when and where and I'll show up.
Okay, yeah, because my other question will be, and I think this is where as a club, we will have the little bit of issue is our club, you guys are our trails per se. And now, so they have to pay VASA to ride on your trails, and then they're gonna have to pay you to ride on your roads.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct?
That's correct.
Correct, yeah.
So this, I just, you know, some people have no problems, but I'm
Yeah,
just
but
gonna
you know
have
what,
to
I
push
think-
that out there to them and try to emphasize this is the way to go.
Yep.
So,
As far as club dues, we'll have to work it out with you guys to where we can, maybe take a portion to kick to you guys or vice versa. I'm not sure how it works, but that way it pans out so everybody doesn't go to other clubs, cause if they go to other clubs, then
because they'll still
about
use our trailhead and per se, they're not
If
joining
Sean's
our
gonna sell it,
club.
he could keep the fee.
But they're still gonna
don't
use
know what
our
the decision
trailhead,
on that
and
was.
how are you gonna enforce, if they don't purchase one of your town ordinance stickers?
So.
But they are a VASA member, which VASA members are okay to ride your class 4 roads,
So in.
as per your ordinance.
Yep, so in Newport, I believe, they have to pay the VASA fee and then a town fee of, is it $15 or $20 there?
Okay,
And I think what our main concern is the amount of, repair that's having to be done on our town roads and trying to recoup some of that money that, you know, our town guys aren't free. They do a great job, but they're not free. And when we have, you know,
50, 60, yep.
well, the 50, 60 is a nice slow day lately, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I'm glad you're out and enjoying the trails and everything. I think it's awesome, but, you know, it's, one guy goes and spins around a corner and then the next guy goes a little bit harder. And,
We're
you
gonna
know,
donut it from the intersections and.
So it just, we're trying to recoup some of the money that we're losing by having to be out there.
Regrading roads.
Expand the roads.
Yeah.
so we'll talk with some of the other clubs and see how they're doing it, and we'll throw a couple ideas your guys' way, so when you do finally pass this, then we can all work together.
That's a great idea, Tim. You know, we're open to
Okay.
suggestions. We're by no means have this nailed down. We're trying to figure out the best solution, not only for the club members that are coming in from out of town, but also our taxpayers here that like to ride too.
And two, Tim, the hard part is half the guys that are causing trouble aren't even in your club. They're just guys that come up and ride. So it's making you guys, and it's making you guys look bad. What's that, Tim?
I been up by your place the last 2 Saturdays. The week before last, there was too much snow on the ground to see any garbage. The last Saturday, I think I picked up maybe 3 cans up through the arena.
Yeah, I
on
know
my
that.
way over to Lowell,
Yeah.
so I did do my part.
Yeah, I picked a few up too on the road there last week, a few beer cans, but again, it could be guys on trucks, but I think half the problem is not your guys. I've seen you guys go up through
Nope.
there and they're decent, but you get the guys that aren't your members and they're ruining it for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And cause I see the problem, like a lot of our people, because it's just, basically the town roads for our trails, for our club, that they just use ours as a trailhead, and they just want to get from here elsewhere, or
Newport,
Bakersfield to
wherever.
elsewhere.
Right.
And, they're just coming, like we come from Milton. So for us to come to Milton, to drive all the way to Newport to ride, when he'd rather ride from, Bakersfield, wherever on the trails. But yeah, I'm willing to get a stack of them, so when we have our club meetings, we can push them, here's what this town is asking, and we can do it that way too.
Excellent, that's great. We
Perfect.
love working with you instead of.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Anything else for us?
Yep, I just need to, I'm gonna have to drop off or stop by there with the, Bassa landowner permission form that you guys will have to sign so that we can get Polaris Ride Command open up.
Okay.
And I think we're good to go for the season, and as soon as you guys make way with this permit deal, just get a hold of me. Brenda has our messenger and all that, so we can get right to work on it.
All right, we will definitely keep Brenda in the loop. And when did you want to come up with that, the landowner permission form? Our next meeting is the 26th, so. and-
Okay, I'll try to make the meeting. If not, my boy's got a license and he's driving my car, so he might be able to bring it.
Tim, if you get that out to us between now and then, we can put it in the folder and get it all signed up for you.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Okay, maybe I'll do it that way.
That works for us.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks,
Thank
too.
you.
Thanks, Tim.
Too.
Take care.
All right.
These are 4 liquor licenses. Yep. 2 for Bakersfield Country Club, 1 for Swiss and Bloom, and 1 for.
Or which one?
Swiss and Bloom.
Huh?
Why do we get Swiss and Bloom?
Apparently the state told them that they had to have a liquor license if they were gonna use Mark's catering service for anything. So it's Swiss and Bloom with Mark. I don't think he's on any of the paperwork, but I don't know, I didn't understand it either, but Kathy explained it to me when I was up there Wednesday.
They must have,
She said that they were never gonna do anything actually in the town of Bakersfield, but the state said that if they were using Mark, maybe if he's storing for them in his building, I don't know.
I don't know what a liquor license would have to do with it.
I don't
And see
either,
it catering.
right? I don't know, maybe there's an off-site place. Tent in a field somewhere, but I think that's actually, you have to specify the
You
location.
have to do
don't you?
that,
Yeah,
each function.
yeah. I don't know, that's the way it was explained to me, and, yeah, there's 2 of them for the Bakersfield.
Yeah, so just my copy of the P&L, or is that everybody?
I think that was everybody's, but I looked through it, and we can actually just put it in the, yep. Alright, so, not here, dealt with. Roads. Still there? Still there?
She stole my thunder with the FEMA stuff, so I mean, Mark's been on the grader for close to 2 weeks straight now.
I got complaints. It's dusty now.
That one's coming, don't worry. When can we get some chloride on these roads?
Yeah. That rock, that boulder there, Mark rolled out of the road and put in the ditch up by my house. I took it out.
Did you?
Yeah. I got the grapple. I was up the house. I said,
We won't even charge you for it.
There you
Jeez,
go.
okay.
No, dude, we gotta recover something.
It's on the lawn now, so.
On your lawn?
Is it an ornament or just on your lawn?
That's just where he wants to throw it.
As far as you push it.
Honestly,
Why does Marky always picking up boulders with our grader?
it's
There's no
sitting on
sun
top
base.
of my cat's crib, so.
From the underworld.
Yeah, all positive things on my end, Mac. I discussed with you the one there up on Waterville Mountain Road. If you wanna just check that out tomorrow, if you get a minute. Other than that, positive stuff all over Facebook.
There's one close light on Egypt Road.
Yep, but I think Marky said that he was gonna tack that tomorrow, is what you were telling me?
Yeah.
Yep, so, I mean,
He went over and get there today, that was his problem.
you wanted to get over there today?
Well, he went over there.
Oh, he did?
He got a little juicy, I guess, after he.
Oh, okay.
There's not much you can do about that.
Is it there by the log, by where there was the
It's
access?
some holes up through the woods.
Yeah,
there, it's just.
Well,
It's-
the pines don't let the stuff run, the
Yeah.
sun get there.
Where is this?
So between Paul Holes and, I guess you could say Quad,
Yeah.
It's on the Egypt Road.
yeah.
It's a lot of cover, a lot of evergreens, you don't get much sun.
Yeah, it's
It's protected from the sun. It's a north-facing slope.
cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cut all the limbs on both sides of the trees.
But yeah, I mean, unless anybody else has heard anything, it's been all good.
How long before it's actually dry enough to get out and work it properly? I mean, stuff squishes up now, right?
It's starting to dry out as we speak, but I mean, probably by the beginning of next week, if the weather doesn't change on us, you know, he'll start scraping, dragging.
Calls for snow on a week from this Wednesday.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're supposed to get,
Let's still
No
do it,
kidding.
so.
That's too bad, because the plows are coming off.
The plows are coming off, yeah. I
Oh,
see-
it's changed, it's back to
I
rain
see
again.
Dan bringing up those summer tires the other day.
It was
so-
snow this morning, it showed snow.
Yeah,
Nope,
Might be premature.
only in Vermont,
yeah.
Looks like rain Friday.
I wanna say,
Stop trucks have done
It's
haulage.
going
Well,
Friday,
they are.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
That's true.
That's
Yeah,
very,
we don't have that.
that was a very abrupt stop to him too.
that's one
this
thing.
permit is to rent that building down there from Mark.
Right, which is the way they had to put it, the way Kathy explained it to me.
Application is to rent the existing business kitchen space of Cold Hollow Catering.
Right.
Might be his refrigerator.
The way it was explained to me is they said in order to use him as a caterer, they had to get a liquor license for that building.
Apparently, they're handling beer or wine.
Right. But it's not gonna be served out, well, maybe Mark's gonna start serving beer with chicken.
Hey, there you go.
Give me that back, I'll sign it again.
Serve chicken with the beer.
Beer can chicken.
I think it bears investigation.
Yeah, so thank you for tackling mud season the way you guys did. Met with some great feedback. I do wanna go publicly and say thank you to the Brandons for supplying us with, how many loads did they? 12 loads.
Nice.
Of stone. They came through on their promise they made while they were in here.
We have not put the finer stuff on the road yet, but it will.
You're gonna top dress their road with that, or East Bakersfield Road with that.
In some places that,
Yeah.
in some places that have chronic potholes type thing,
Yep.
because it's 5/8 minus, it's, yeah.
Nope. And I think that we held true that if the product was delivered, it would be used.
And it was.
So, thank you for them, and thank you to you guys for doing the job you did. Any others on roads?
Not that I'm aware of.
What are we doing about the guardrails that they talked? Are
That's
we
right.
getting those in this year?
Well, we gotta talk to somebody and see how much it's gonna cost. I don't think that little short stretch, at least by the bridge, I don't think that'd be much.
You did have more stuff on roads, you forgot about it.
Yeah, the gates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Gary's got a couple.
I'm just gonna bring it up.
okay.
I'll call him up.
Go for it.
Okay, so Mac, at the last meeting, we got a letter from, the properties up on Skinner Hill Road.
Right.
As soon as possible, now, I'm not saying pull off the grader and, drop everything, but if we could get those roads measured, each end of that road for,
You got one gate
gates.
already, you got one gate already, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, no, he gave me David wanted 2 6-footers
Okay,
for the other end, or.
that just covers the,
I'm gonna ask Kathy to double check to make sure he doesn't want 2 6-footers for both ends. We
Okay.
gave him, I think it was a 12-footer last fall maybe,
okay,
dropped it off up there. But if he wants the 2 6s, we'll get the 2 6s and bring them up there.
okay. So if we can get both ends of that gated as soon as possible,
Yep.
so that it ends the issues that they're having up there.
Hopefully.
I don't know if we have any really large stones in the pit.
Oh, yeah.
We do have some, maybe even setting a couple of them off to the side so that people can't get around the gate.
Yep.
Well, I
If
think most,
that-
I think
if
mostly,
needed.
I think mostly on the backside toward Fairfield, there's probably more rocks than up on
Okay.
David's, right? I think.
Toward,
I mean-
towards Curtis's.
Yeah.
Claude, yeah.
You know, back that fence, that gate up beyond the meadows where people are then.
That's what he said he wanted to do, get it up past the meadows, so he
Right.
couldn't go around.
Well, technically, that's on the, what used to be class 4 or trail or whatever,
Right.
but it's a better place to put the gate.
Yeah, because you couldn't put it down towards where the class 3 ends, because then they just, like he said.
They go right around it.
Yeah.
So if we get it to him and he gets it up above where it bottlenecks itself, and if we need some rocks, yeah,
Yeah,
not a
but
problem.
if that's something, you know, if we get a day where the roads are either
on both sides of
not in
the
bad
gates.
shape, or there's not much else you can do with them, if we can use that, get that in. He said once we get the gates,
Slap in. Sorry.
once we get the gates, he'll set the post for us,
Yeah,
and that'll be all set, so. That was the only other
You
thing on
think
those.
2 6-footers is enough?
That's what Dave was saying, 2 6-footers.
and
If you wouldn't mind measuring that, not that I don't have faith in David's
He
measuring
wants,
skills,
he
but.
said he wanted a little gap so he can walk through it, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Okay,
Well, I mean, he's not the only one carrying equipment through there.
Right.
I'm wondering about the other people
Well, Steve
who own
was,
property.
Steve was
down
happy with the 2 6s too.
there. Okay.
They were both, they both.
Alright.
and then take a measurement down on the, I wanna keep wanting to say the south end, but I don't know if that's the south end, Claude side,
That's what he told me this morning.
so.
no, I'll ask Kathy about it, and like I said, I can go up and
Yeah.
measure it and make sure
I'd rather be,
it's safe.
I'd rather be heavy on the gates also.
Yeah.
I know there's those galvanized ones that are,
The tube ones, the big tube ones up there.
I was
you
gonna
want
say,
the
the
big
big,
ones,
the big
yeah.
red tube ones are the
That's
heavy
what
duty
we
ones.
brought up to him, it wasn't a big
Excellent.
one, so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
those galvanized ones are.
And we've
pretty
let the
cheap.
Curtis boys know that we're gating that off, because they were worried
Yeah.
about people going into there.
Yeah, well, that's what we were just discussing, is pushing the gates up further to the end of that field. You know, when we walked down out, there was that field there on
Right.
the right. Pushing the gate up to the end of that field, so that nobody's gonna go around the gate by going through their fields.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
push it
yeah,
up.
gotcha.
Granted, there's gonna be probably, what, a 200-yard stretch of trail that's open, but it's not gonna be, they're not gonna be able to access the rest of the road.
Right,
And that won't hinder the Curtises from accessing
So
their
the sign's not
fields.
working right now. The sign that says it's closed.
Right.
They're going right
Yeah.
through.
They're looking at David and going,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah.
They do that
Excellent.
here on Main Street.
yeah, I know.
Any other roads?
Nothing to do with roads.
Okay,
Just got one note in here that I was checking both of the town forum posts and Facebook. Somebody said something since we started meeting about witch cat, and I haven't been down that today.
Which kind?
No, it's Egypt Road, isn't it?
no,
Well,
she
that
said
was,
it
that
just
was
barely.
one, this is another.
Oh.
So this stuff has come in since we started the meeting.
What did they say,
What
Brenda?
were they saying, Brenda?
Just said it was really rough.
Oh, rough.
Okay.
Probably because he went up Joyle, beginning of Witch Cat, up Joyle, East Bakersfield today, so they probably saw him doing things, and what about us?
Yeah,
I can send him there tomorrow.
well,
If he's doing the whole loop.
Yeah, basically.
Well,
How's the grader holding up?
you don't
you have to
Don't
say
ask those
something.
You don't ask
questions
questions like that.
God, Gary.
You
Is
would?
that a Vermonter long enough to know better and say something like that?
Lance, you have something not
Just
road
do
related,
this,
but
Mac.
any
La, la,
other?
la.
Not road related, it's a request by Kathy Lavoy for some meeting minutes from the fall of 2019. Just wanted to make sure nobody had any problems with that. It's public information anyhow.
Oh, yeah, she just wants you to dig up some minutes to get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have,
She already found them.
she did, thank
Excellent.
you.
Lance said.
I was gonna have you contact her just to make sure and she's already found them, we're all set?
Yeah, she said, Lance said he'll reach out to you to find some minutes from last fall, the reference to them, I found them, so don't worry.
Thank you very much.
Reviewing the mail, if you're,
I'm not.
I have one, are we on board, or are we still with Mac?
we are on board.
So,
If
apparent,
Max, you were done, right? Okay.
what is the deal with, there's a complaint over on the avenue, the houses over by, Larry Lawyers, Larry
Yeah.
Lawyers.
Yeah,
You got the Larry's, then the two houses, I'm
Those
sure
two
Larry's
trailers.
probably has
Two
the
trailers,
same
all the garbage is.
complaint. But the two trailers in front are dumping garbage.
That's, we've been dealing with that.
So you'll want
It's a
to
repetitive
call
issue.
Ginger, parent,
Okay,
health officer. This will make year 3 that she has gone to that same address,
Maybe 4.
maybe 4. Gone to that same address, and quite honestly, they are usually quite messy until she goes there and asks them to clean up. And
so
then they
what do we
usually,
have for bylaws that,
our only option is to
The health department, right?
is to go through the health officer, then to the health department of the state. We've tried other avenues in previous years with no backing,
what about the living in the camper?
health officer issue.
So we allow that?
We don't have any,
Permit?
we don't have any say in really.
Even if there's no septic?
Right,
It's no different than living up in camps, I mean, it's really the same thing.
Well, no, because I did reach out to that young man, and he actually has been working with Darlene,
Yeah, Darling,
and got a conditional use permit, and they're working on their septic.
he hasn't got it worked up yet, but he hasn't, yeah.
so he was issued a CUP?
No.
Yes,
He was?
mhm,
How can he don't, he doesn't have a septic?
that's what she issued him.
Well, Darlene should know, because he didn't approve septic.
CUP, conditional use permit. Oh.
And they're working on getting a septic in up there.
Because right now he has no design on it.
How long have they been working on it? Because Darlene hasn't been active for several months.
right, but the problem is,
He's
if
been
she
there-
issued a permit,
Yeah.
it would say duration of the permit
Right.
on the permit, and if it's good for a year, he has.
He's been there almost 3 years.
Right, but it all depends on when she issued the permit. He could have
She
been there for
told
5
him-
years, it doesn't matter.
She told him as long as he is still in progress with it, the permit stands.
Yeah.
Not on a septic system.
No.
That's what she told him.
Because I asked Darlene when I first got here, could you please show me his septic design? And she never got back to me. I called her 3-4 times.
He doesn't have one yet, that's what they're doing this year.
Because supposedly, he said there was one on file with that building, but it was a deer camp.
You can't live in a building that doesn't have septic.
You have an outhouse, but you have a legal outhouse. But I'm saying, he's got a kid, a wife,
Right.
indoor toilets. He's done he's dug some trenches, threw some pipe in the ground, which is not even illegal, but he's doing that. The same with the girl that's
But
up in.
they have been working with Darlene,
So, I mean,
just so you know.
at this point,
And I don't think Darlene was up enough with the right stuff.
Well, I think we need to have Melanie research the history of the subject.
And same with that girl in the A-frame that's above me that bought the house as a
Yes.
camp.
And she's supposedly gonna be working on that as well. Yes. I wasn't aware of it.
Period.
That camper, I knew the camper was there, I didn't know anybody was living in it.
oh yeah, all winter they lived in it.
Now, I got a question. That trailer that they put in here over with cars, where's that septic going? Is it going into their existing septic or
I think they put a new system in.
did they?
I think Michael Jarvis designed that.
Yeah, we've had problems with that particular residence for several years, Terry. To the point where neighbors were complaining about
Rats.
rodents and, yeah, smell and
We've tried many different
Avenues.
avenues to to see what we can do. Houston worked on it for quite a while.
Yes, he did.
One year, or one spring, because it's issued during the spring. We had, it basically gets kicked to Ginger. Ginger files her report. Maybe with this being the third or fourth time that it's happened, it'll go further. But as long as, correct me if I'm wrong, but as long as they do something,
They rectify the complaints.
which
So-
they've
so
done
they-
every year,
Yep,
that's as far as it goes.
they cleaned up the trash, you know, they made efforts to pick up the property.
Even
And
to
it's
the
good
point-
for a couple months and then it slowly
Degrades.
declines back into the previous
At
state.
first, they had, what, 3, 4 dumpsters, big dumpsters up
Yeah,
there?
roll-offs, yeah,
Big ones.
yeah.
David Ovett and I had to go for a visit up there one time.
Yeah, it's been an every year thing, but we call the
I'll
head office.
reach out to Ginger then.
Yep, and
and
you
see
won't
if
even
she
have to
can
give
get
her
on
the
it.
address, just tell her the house on the avenue. She'll know exactly where she's going.
Okay.
Sorry it's that way, but
Well, and who would look into the camper piece if the septic's just going on the ground? I mean, that
That's
cannot
also a health
possibly be legal.
officer.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's, so I can mention that to
But
her
the
as well.
permits, I mean, Melanie Reynolds should be able to research that and find out if that's legal.
for what part now?
The permits for the conditional use permit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She was talking about the camper.
Yeah, well, the camper has a CUP for,
No, no, no.
No, you're talking
No.
camp.
That's two different things.
I apologize.
You're
The
talking the camp on the mountain.
CUP is
She's
above.
talking a camper.
No, I'm talking the camper, you said you had a CUP for that?
Not for that camper, for the one up by Garrett.
Yeah, we switched.
My bad.
No, I was
We
confused
switched
also.
midway.
We switched directions really fast there for a minute. I was gonna say, poor Tammy's minutes over here.
Yeah, you guys better preview these.
He, she, we, she, wishy.
Yeah.
She can't catch up with it.
So we do have a letter here from Preservation Trust of Vermont. I believe it's just a. I didn't open it before today. And it's just one of the updates that they send us on a regular basis, or maybe they're asking for money.
Probably ask for money.
Brenda, the link for this meeting is always on our website.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I had a couple people ask, I told them it was on the website, but I got thinking about it later, maybe I better check with it.
Well, if it isn't, it
It
will
isn't
be.
money.
How is that gonna work? Like, all these links on our website, where are we gonna put them?
I don't know.
We gotta figure that out, because our homepage, you get like 3/4 of the way down, then you get welcome to the town of Bakersfield.
Well, let's sit down and strategize that. I think that's a
Yeah,
good idea
there's gotta be
to
like
clean that up.
another page or something that we can.
There's always gonna be the second Monday with a link, and because of the way Zoom does it, I'm gonna get to this in my report.
No money, right?
We have to put another meeting in there and have that monthly as well, so there's gonna be
Money.
two different links, on the second and the fourth.
Yep.
Until they figure out how to do that, we're stuck with that, but it's better than nothing.
Our mail was not very gratifying, so if you wanna
Diagram.
give us the full Zoom update, that would be great.
Yeah, first I'd like to thank Megan Buckley, who's been here all night with us.
Thanks, Megan.
With a loan from Northwest Access TV. I started doing some shopping, and immediately we figured out that laptop that I've got needs more USB ports, so there's an extender that we can put on there to run more things off of, so.
And that's one that you bought?
It's right here, this one the town bought.
Okay.
It's gonna stay here for the most part, I'm gonna keep tinkering with it and working at it at home. I picked up, there's also a new camera that will replace that one. It was lots cheaper than that one was, it's, what would you say, it's like $5,000 with the camera there?
Probably around that.
Yeah, so,
Ouch.
this one was $89.
Hey,
I got a tripod as well, so that we'll be able to move it around as people come in. What I'm looking to figure out and finish up with is cabling, adapters, and mics. Much like what we've got here, we've got to have all of the hardware that you see that they've brought every time that they've come over. I wanna talk about where we might put a large screen TV and reorienting this meeting so that we can all see it, and that we can watch it. It's one of those things where Roger opted for a 70-inch TV, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
And we can hang it someplace permanently, where it can have multiple uses, for us. I'm thinking a corner and rechanging where we look at that and where we run the camera from. Because the camera can actually go in the corner under the TV.
Right, that would be ideal.
And work within that context. So I'm gonna work with Roger for a better floor layout and just see what can optimize. We also gotta make sure we have enough electricity, and I think we got enough cable in, and the Ethernet cable is a direct connect to the wireless. There's a caveat with the wireless that we're using right now, is that it has a finite bandwidth. So unless we use the free Wi-Fi access that was part of the deal, the package for our communications package, we should be dedicating the meetings on our network and using the Wi-Fi from the free-fi. You didn't have any problems with it
I
tonight, did you?
did, it logged right on, yep.
Yeah, so.
Actually, it kicked it off down.
That's only free for a year, though.
Yeah, it's only free for a year, but it's gonna be $185 for another year or subsequent year.
Oh, hell,
That's my understanding,
yeah,
so.
that's pretty cheap.
And you know, kids with homework that don't have it at home, they can pull up here and do it. And we have people that are doing that. Kathy's daughter, I believe, comes here to download because it has better capacity than she'll ever have at home. At least right now. Hopefully we'll have some. And I'm just gonna segue that right into the Northwest Communications Union District information. Both Heather and myself are gonna need reapproval for you to, for us to be on the board of the Northwest Communications Union District. So we just got word that we need to recertify through the board for that. We are looking at, we've hired an engineering firm out from the Midwest that has specialty in telecommunications. They've done it for cities, so they should be able to handle the county. They've got a great bunch of work done in Utah, where there's literally millions of people on networks that they've engineered and set up. So he was anxious to work back east, and we'll get that done. There's grants coming from, as I mentioned, Green Mountain Power and the cooperative for people who are served in our territory. And the good part of that is, we don't know what it's gonna mean, but it's gonna reduce the cost to the companies that are doing the last mile, that are doing from the house to the nodes that will have the broadband. Think of it this way, from your house is usually probably twisted copper pair.
Yeah.
And it might have a node down at the end of the road, mine does. That is linked by fiber back to the central office in Enosburg Falls.
I think we gotta go all the way back to East Fairfield,
Yeah,
so.
so there are already network in place, but we're talking about people that don't have service. We're talking 100 meg. We need to have much faster service, much wider broadband, much more
I wonder if
robust.
We had
we're
to,
putting it in right now with this
They're
road.
upgrading facilities that are 50 years out of date.
yeah, that's, the
new
technician
poles,
that came,
though.
we complained about our service, the technician that came, complained about the antiquity
Oh,
of the center that, whatever they have down in East Fairfield. He said it's an absolute mess and everything is just deteriorating, it's just old.
yeah, they have, they engineered it for 50 years, it's now 30 years past. Its useful date, and copper oxidizes, copper breaks down, that's the problem. Fiber optic does not, and it has no real lifespan. Once it's up, it's up. And it's the equipment that's evolving on both ends of it that's important. Our computers that we're using and the stuff that switches at the central office, no telephone company has reinvested in network to any great degree. They've always fixed it, replaced it as necessary. So this money is going to be massive. It's going to hopefully will let them modernize all the infrastructure in the state and bring it much farther. It's also holding up cell service, because you have to have a good backbone of fiber going from the cell node to the central offices in order for there to be good telecommunications. I guarantee you there'll be a couple new towers that will go in as soon as there's infrastructure that will support it. So all this stuff is just mashing up together, and finally the government's letting go of the money, and there's going to be enough to right now, I'll make a bold prediction that in 2 years from now, we'll have a whole different landscape of broadband.
We've heard that before, though, Brendan.
Yeah, but here's the thing, you've heard it from the top down, that's the problem. It's always been the governor or somebody else in the state house that said this. Right now, we've got a grassroots consortium with the Northwest Communications Union District that's building this. I actually have a meeting with Christine Hallquist, who is running the Northeast version, the Northeast Kingdom version, and also merged with Lamoille, which surrounds us. I mean, that's what we bought. And so I'm gonna work with her and see what she can offer us as a three companies now get together and look at how we're gonna do this. So she's a good friend, and she's really taken the lead in telecommunications in extremely underserved northeast Vermont. Northwest is too, but not so much as northeast.
What do we need to do for you and Heather to be reapproved? Is there a signing or
Yep,
is it
just a sheet that you'll sign off on, and
Okay.
and we'll get that to the,
I just wasn't sure if it was a motion, a second, and a vote, or?
well, we can do that when we do the signing. So
Okay.
hopefully we'll have it at the next meeting for you.
Alright,
And we'll put Heather on the agenda for the next meeting as well.
Thank you.
thanks for the update.
I think
That's
we're
it.
starting to.
So we'll have a 70-inch TV?
We're gonna have 70-inch TV soon. I'm looking for them to be
When
cheaper
Green Mountain
cheaper
Power
at
puts in new
Costco.
services, they're putting broadband.
This is a refurbished
Okay.
one that I picked up.
That's why I
Probably
wonder if
about
they'd be doing it
$1,000
here on
for
Main
new.
Street.
Trouble is, I'm on an
Project.
electric car.
There we go, I like that.
Yeah, should come with a Garrett.
Good sound and video tonight was one of the comments that we
You
got.
should come with a
Great,
good
great.
power company.
Something's happening.
Brigham resident grant with resolution, we've already discussed, passed, good there. Outside audit has been, or was that's not the outside audit?
It's
that's
an internal audit for the first 2 months of the year.
So
Yeah.
right, but the outside audit,
We need to put that on next
Just
year's.
asked me to keep it on the agenda,
yep,
so I put
so
it
we'll
on
just, we'll just need to look at that.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Um,
be, is
We
that,
need to
is there a
collect
bidding
some.
process?
I think it is because of the dollar value of it. It's gonna
We need to
require-
get some bids.
Yeah. ATV stickers, Tammy, I believe you have the
Yeah.
information on that.
Yeah,
I had talked to Kathy, Kathy was going to, she has a printing business that she does.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
She was gonna do the whole thing for us,
Yeah?
and her printer
Uh-oh.
died.
done.
And she was like, it's gonna be, I think she said like $400 or $500 to get a printer that would be equivalent to what she had, so she passed it off to Tammy, and Tammy's not gonna,
So what we were thinking, Grizzly Graphics in Sheldon,
okay,
they can do it 2 by 2 inch. They said we can pick our color, any color, it's vinyl and they'll laminate to waterproof. 25 cents a piece if we do 50 to 100 stickers.
okay,
Over that, 21 cents a piece. So for 100 stickers, it's $25.
okay.
They said
And-
they could have those to us in a few days because they're
No.
very slow.
Does that have a registration card
It
next to
has,
it?
no, so what we were thinking was we would get blank 3 by 5 cards,
Okay,
print off so that, and it would be sheets of stickers with sequential numbers.
okay,
001,
great.
002, up to 100,
Yep.
and then above, if you wanna go above 100. And then what we would do is, that's a sheet, and then you'd have a 3 by 5 card with the ATV trail number, with the number, name, address, phone number, make, model, year, and the VIN number.
Excellent.
And then we'd keep the cards
Yep.
for the season, and then the next season they've got to have a new sticker.
I think all the colors probably a bright color, like an orange or a fluorescent
Yeah.
yellow. Something we can see.
Something very.
Something you see.
I like the fact that we moved right to what color the sticker should be.
Well,
You know, we're just like, yeah, we're done, that's it, what color do we want this?
That's right, do it. Get it over.
I like it, Dan, I like your
Do
enthusiasm.
we need a
for it.
motion to get those from Grizzly Graphics?
We entertain a motion, a second, and
I make a motion
I
to
would
accept.
Johnny Johnson.
I don't know if he does stickers.
We didn't decide on the color, damn it.
I know Johnny Price from Grizzly Graphics.
LG printing, you know, sorry, closed, there was another one I checked, sticker app something, and you could
Cause
get
what's vast is
them,
green, right?
but it was $65
I'm not sure.
additional if we wanted sequential numbering,
Okay.
$65 extra, and 10% of the order extra for sequential numbering. So I was like, okay, thank you.
So,
I know John Grant, who runs Grizzly Graphics,
I do
I've known
too.
him for years, he's a good guy.
no, she was referring to John, Johnson.
Johnny Johnson.
Oh, I know, yeah, I know.
Mountain View.
Mountain
Is
View.
is that in St. Albans?
No.
Sheldon,
So,
technically.
Enosburg, isn't it?
I'd say that's Enosburg. He's
Tina,
on
or is
Duffy
it?
Hill.
On
I thought he was a
There's,
garage.
He does,
he does
No,
both.
he does all.
He does-
Actually, he made this shirt.
well, he did all our decals for our equipment and our trucks. He did all
He
that.
does
for
embroidering
Enosburg.
and
Does he
screen
do,
printing.
what do they call it, wraps when they do them on the
Yep.
vehicle?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He does amazing work. The Mountain View Auto Body, if you
But he doesn't own a
Facebook
comb.
it.
Huh?
He doesn't own a
I
comb.
got work, I got
Doesn't own a coat? No.
So yes, we have a motion, we have a second.
Oh, Brendan motion?
And we
I got a
need a
second.
color.
That
Denton,
was in the motion.
Denton wants a bright orange
Or
or
something that's visible. So you
highly
see it.
visible.
Invisible?
The only other discussion, I think, would be the number of tags we should order.
Yeah.
John will know more.
I don't think 100 is enough.
Did
I
we
don't either.
vote? I didn't hear a vote.
We haven't voted, we're still in discussion phase.
We got color here, come on.
We got the color, we're talking about quantity now.
Quantities.
What was the price per 100 unit?
Well, you might as well do
It was
five, you can use them year to year, right?
Well, we would change colors every
From
year.
50 to 100 is 25 cents a piece. So for 100 it's 25. More than 100 is 21 cents a piece.
Okay, so what's 500 times
It's
21 cents?
We're not talking big bucks
You
here.
want five? You think there's 500 ATVs moving through here?
Not
got
the
it.
ones that are gonna pay this $10.
Right.
That's $100, okay? That's $100 for 500 of them. If you sell 10, you've made your money plus 50 or $45. Now, keep in mind, we had also said that any town resident, tax-paying resident, would get the sticker for free.
Right.
True.
Okay.
That's, yep, you're
So
right.
that means if Lance
Yep.
wants to
That's a good
ride
point,
this
Judge.
thing down the
Good
road,
point.
You can't ride his down the road.
he would.
That's right.
I will
His
ride my
road is
four-wheeler
not
down my road if I want.
I mean, and we
You
have,
can trail it to Brenda's though, right over there.
Just to check, these do have the year.
Yes, it'll be 001 Bakersfield ATV Trail Member to 2021.
Yeah.
Okay. I just,
Is there
I
an
missed that part. I
is
just
there an
wanted to make
outline
sure.
of Bakersfield on it?
Oh, boy.
No.
How about Brigham Academy?
But you're welcome to submit designs.
No.
For 21 cents, I make the suggestion we order 500. I can think of probably 100 people here in town that ride ATVs that are gonna get them for free
Right.
Yeah,
because of their taxes.
yeah,
We get 4 or 5
yeah,
to
I'd
get
forgotten
their
that,
friends.
that's a good
Get
point.
4 or 5 to get their
We
friends.
also have Brenda who's gonna go to the meeting
So
and say, these are our stickers, you know, if there's 20 people at that meeting,
Yeah.
if we're the people at the meeting and I own 2 side-by-sides, I gotta have 2 stickers,
And we can always order more later.
right? I think 500 is, I mean,
Yeah,
for
mine-
the
You went for Arnold.
full
Okay.
disclosure here, I wanted to get out to talk to these clubs for a while because I'm part of the Northeast Association of Four-Wheel Drive Clubs, which doesn't include ATVs, but we've had a lot of synergy and a lot of the same issues with full-size 4x4s on trails, so.
so what you're telling me is we should make another sticker for $25 for all you Jeepers?
You know, this is something I was gonna, no, thank you. I was gonna bring it up with Tim, and one of the things that we have as a Jeep organization, we pay registration and insurance
Right.
to get our licenses, and we pay the inspection, and then we pay to play at almost every place we go now.
Yeah.
And usually it's $25 a vehicle, so we're going in on private land, we're being charged to go in and do that, and that's the way it's been running. I mean, we bought, as an organization, we bought almost 200 acres of property in northern Massachusetts. But that's the exception. And we still pay to play on our own property to keep paying for it and to keep the taxes paid. So it's one of those things where if they don't know where this is going.
What do you do, race each other?
No, hon, we climb rocks and go through mud.
Oh.
It's trail riding.
I was trying
That's like going through my driveway.
I was trying to figure out what there was in northern Massachusetts you could 4-wheel drive for.
Oh my God, there's Old Forest Road, there's people who wanna sell their property and not have it developed.
Yep.
Yeah,
So trails go out and, you know, we work with the hunting groups down there, we work with a lot of
Awesome.
the other groups, so. Once the trail's in, it's good. Northern New Hampshire, up in Berlin, they did the same thing similar to what Newport did, they opened up their roads, but they also have Jericho Mountain State Park there, and they separated it into 3 segments. ATVs, motorcycles, and full-size Jeeps.
Yeah, we have been where you usually go to there, it's awesome to see all the ATVs.
It is.
So we have the motion, the second, we worked out all the minute details, correct? Any other details that need to be thought of?
Call a vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? There we go.
so I'm not quite understanding that Enosburg one.
It didn't really seem like it came to a point.
Right,
It
exactly,
seemed,
okay.
it seemed like we're having all these troubles,
And they're gonna want more money.
and eventually we're gonna want more money, but we're not asking you for money now.
But
We're
if
just
you
telling
don't
you.
wanna come to our meeting, then must be
Did
you're
you-
gonna get a contract with
I'm
Amcare.
sorry.
I would go to the meeting.
But didn't we already get a bill from them?
We have a contract with them, but I believe our contract is up this year or next year. I'm
I
not
believe
sure.
it expires this year.
Okay.
I'll have to double check on that.
Which was a 5 or 10-year contract.
No, it was not a 10-year contract.
It was 5, probably.
Probably 5. No, it wasn't
Yes,
even
I
5.
do believe they
It
did.
wasn't.
No, I don't believe so.
Well, no, or didn't Amcare buy Richford?
Oh, I don't know. I
I
know they
feel
talked,
think
like
Amcare
Richford
bought
just sold theirs
Richford.
out,
Did
but
they?
I'm
Yeah.
not 100%.
I know they talked about merging with Enosburg then.
Yeah.
No, this
that's
is all
fine.
speculation.
It's just- So I
Do
don't
you see
know
where
if,
they came to a point on there?
I don't know if Amcare's thinking of giving us I thought Amcare wouldn't come this far before, but maybe they will now.
Amcare, I've actually seen Amcare in Bakersfield a couple times in the past month.
I think.
I don't know if they're just helping out
I think
Westford
a lot
or
of times, for example.
Wasn't that the,
is that the
Tabor? Didn't they come for Tabor?
Yeah.
No,
Whoever it was, they couldn't find the county road.
No, they got stuck, they almost got stuck on our road, turning around on a farm road.
I heard them on the radio, on our radio, and the guy said, well, I don't know where this, I'm over by the Stanley farm. We've gone too far.
Yep.
Just that they're.
Well, they went
They
by
were
our
at the meeting.
farm.
Right.
June 7th.
Where the cornfield is, they tried going up that road. Yeah.
Yeah, the bottom line is they got information they want us to know about, and probably it is gonna be rates. Obviously, they're running a for-profit business, not a nonprofit,
Yeah.
and they wanna see somebody there if we're interested in continuing care to be extended here. Which usually means money.
Right.
A lot.
6 p.m., June 7th, I don't know what day that is.
well, Amcare is, we should,
It's a Monday.
June 7th is a Monday,
See
and it's the
what
first
they
Monday,
Change the
and
structure.
what the
of
difference
their
is of the two.
Operating.
Right.
What's that?
That
Huh?
almost
It was
seems like
Matt.
I don't know,
they're gonna change the
I
structure.
didn't know it was not till today, I heard I couldn't
so
hear.
do they bid
He's
for
home.
this service?
Oh, yes? Okay.
I don't know.
I
if
heard
they
radio, I
have
didn't know what it was,
because
it's
they've
3
done
oh
it
nine, I
all.
didn't know what it, I just found the name of the
Very
contract.
sore.
So, yeah, I guess we can table this until it gets closer and see if anybody's interested in going.
When's the meeting?
Well, I'd like more information
June
with it.
7th, that's what, I think it's.
So
an
the
informational
meeting is for more information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that somebody should go.
Did
I think we
anybody
probably
else join
should
in on that
Reach out to Amcare then.
Lamoille Valley Rail Trail meeting?
I did not.
I did join in. I lost service for about 15 minutes in the middle of it, but it was, as advertised, it was informational.
Still not gonna have a great effect on.
It's gonna be done this year.
But it's not gonna.
It's not gonna have a great effect on Bakersfield because we don't have access to the trail in the middle of town like a lot of other towns do.
Right.
It's on the extreme southwest corner of the town, and it's only accessible by one back road, and we don't have any parking. But
2 back roads.
But
Whitney
you
and
also can't,
Lost Nation.
Lost Nation,
Lost
yep,
Nation.
okay.
But you
But there's
can't
no
have,
parking.
that's only foot and snowmobile, you can't do ATVs on that.
And I did learn that if we want to put a parking area, we might be able to get grants, but they won't be doing it in this phase.
Okay.
So it would be the town's responsibility to
Acquired.
obtain grants or do it themselves
But
for
how-
parking and access.
How would that work? Does that have a right of way? You know, is it
I asked
Free
about
road road?
I asked about right of way. It varies depending on the use.
Yeah.
Generally speaking,
Usually
it's,
goes 55 to 50.
sounds like a two-rod right of way for the the ATV association.
a, okay.
Or VASA, I'm sorry,
Fast.
VAST.
Yep, okay.
I know over to Enosburg, it's somewhere it's 50, some is 55 feet, some is 57 feet, some is
Right.
62, depending.
It depends
Like
on what the rail
range is.
needed
They own
at the time.
Rick's building,
But
they own Depot Street.
VAST has, on average,
Who owns
a
Depot
two-rod
Street?
right of way.
The state of Vermont owns Depot Street and Railroad Street,
Oh, state of Vermont,
which is railroad, because they bought the rail trail.
right.
Alright. Any others?
Yeah, I just wanna mention that, in the movement between the two laptops with Megan and me, we failed to record this meeting, so I apologize ahead of time.
I got on your at least.
Yeah, well, there's a backup, and so
Okay.
it's over there, but,
I was gonna say,
I got like the Zoom participants
you
on.
saved me this.
So it's recorded or no?
It is recorded.
Oh, it is recorded. The Zoom itself isn't, but this is. And it
Yes.
has like the audio from that.
We're good.
So Megan, you're Megan? Yes. Megan pulled through.
Megan Buckley saved the day.
alright.
Yay!
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I would second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.